What is up, guys? It is your favorite Taco Lotus here today, and welcome back to the Nerd Corner. And in today's video, I'm here to give you my review, my thoughts, my reaction to episode 5 of Orange, Letter 5. And I gotta say, this may have just become my favorite episode. I know I was really excited over last week's episode, mainly because of how much the music stood out to me and how much I really enjoyed that. And you guys already know how I am when it comes to music. But this episode also had fantastic music, as well as some interesting events that took place and some things that really made me smile, some things that made me tense up. So let's get into it. So at the very beginning of the episode, we see Naho and the gang. They're back at school, regular day-to-day type thing. And interestingly enough, they actually go over, time travel at some point. But a little bit before that, I believe, Kakeru, invites Naho to walk home together, or maybe Naho invited Kakeru. I think it was Kakeru. I've already forgotten. And basically they say, all right, let's all walk home together, on some regular type shit. But everybody else besides Naho and Kakeru has an excuse as to why they can't walk home, whether it's they want to go watch a TV show or play a game, or for whatever reason they have somewhere else to be, so they leave Naho and Kakeru alone to walk home together. Naho actually ends up taking Kakeru to like this lookout where they can see this beautiful view of the city, and Kakeru ends up presenting Naho with like this beautiful hairpin, like as a gift to thank her for making him lunches and doing the wake-up calls in the morning, waking him up in the morning for school, which I thought was interesting. I definitely understand where he was coming from with that. It's funny the way he presented it to her though, because they're at this lookout and it's like a very romantic type little scenery or whatever, and he's like, close your eyes and don't open them till I say so. And I'm like, yo, hold up, do not tell me. I know Kakeru is low-key a savage, I know his boy is smooth, but don't tell me he's about to put the lips on her right here, right now. Like, this is kind of sudden. Like, I don't know how to handle that. But that's not what he ended up doing. He just ended up putting a hairpin on her and taking a picture, like right when he told her to open her eyes, which I thought was kind of funny. I thought was kind of clever. That sounds like something I would do. And again, I've said before that I see some of myself in Kakeru. Some of the things he does reminds me of some things that I would do. So I really am enjoying, seeing his character and his interactions with Naho, and seeing how their relationship develops and progresses. Because like I said, this is pretty realistic in comparison to other romance stories I've seen, and I find it a lot more relatable than other stories that I've read or watched. So I guess that's adding a lot to my own personal enjoyment of it. But yeah, he gives her this hairpin to thank her for the lunches and the wake-up calls, and she's like, well, I haven't done that for you in a while, like ever since you started dating Ueda Senpai. And then he's like, well, then this is just a thank you for all of it up until then. Seemingly he has broken up with Ueda, but he doesn't actually reveal that until later on in the episode. But it is confirmed when Ueda actually sees Kakeru and Naho together at the library, I believe it was, that they have broken up. It's funny because later on in the episode, I think it's revealed that I don't remember if they said this before, but they definitely said in this episode that Ueda is actually an amateur model. And, everyone praises Ueda, for her looks, and they're calling her real cute and stuff. But maybe it's just me, and I don't even know if this is intentional or not. But am I the only one that thinks, like, I know these are just animated girls, but I think Naho looks a little cuter than Ueda. Like, Ueda is by no means like a poorly drawn character. Like, she's not ugly or anything, but I think Naho's cuter. Maybe it's the hair, maybe it's the eye. I don't know, but I don't even think Ueda is all that. But moving on, we do get this little interesting discussion while they're in class about, time travel. And the only reason I'm really bringing this up, because it's not very important. Well, it is, but it isn't, because of the whole fact of this, series as the letter, the whole back in time, changing the past thing. But there hasn't been any actual time travel in this series, and I don't know if there will be. But this is kind of like foreshadowing or hinting to that. Like, they're leaning more towards that aspect than they have in these previous episodes. Confirming the fact that there is some sort of aspect of time travel in this. Now, I don't know if that's foreshadowing that there will be some actual time travel that we will witness in this series, or if it'll be explained how the younger Naho received this letter from the older Naho. I don't know, but the main reason I personally wanted to bring this up isn't even for that. It's just because I really enjoyed the music that was playing during the teacher's explanation of time travel. Also, I believe it was Hagita who stood up and made a not a debate, but basically a declaration as to why he believes time travel is impossible because of inconsistencies. And then when he sat down, and maybe it was Azu, I forget, but it might have been Azu or the other girl that was like a big shot, and he was like, shut up, just like instantly, like right as she finished, like he was already saying it as she was calling him a big shot. And I just thought that was hilarious, because again, it reminded me of something I would do. But surprisingly enough, as the story progresses on, Naho does something very bold and very unexpected, and she's very awkward about it. She's very shy, and it's something that was obviously very hard for her to do. But she actually invites Kakeru to the cultural festival, and at first he thinks, oh yeah, let's get the group together and we can all go. And she's like, no, I don't mean like that, like just the two of us, like alone together. And I was like, oh, I see you, Naho, I see you. I was impressed because so far she's been very scared and like very hesitant to do anything that the letter has told her. She's been scared to make any sort of advances towards Kakeru and progress the relationship any further than just being friends. So this was like a very big leap for her character and her development, as well as the development of her relationship with Kakeru. So that's something that I thoroughly enjoyed seeing, and I hope we get to see more things like that, because apparently, judging from the letter, they have a very fond, or Naho has a very fond memory of, watching the fireworks with Kakeru. And I'm really looking forward to that scene, because I enjoy, those scenes. Like, I remember when I read A Silent Voice, the scene with the fireworks scene was really nice. And then I watched Real Life when that dropped, just recently. They dropped all 13 episodes in the same day. And the fireworks scene at the festival, whatever, was, a very great scene. So hopefully Orange lives up to the previously established, very romantic, touching, heartfelt scenes that I've seen in manga or anime, that are very romantic and stuff like that. So even if it's a little bit cliche, I'm looking for that mushy, romantic, feelsy moment, if we do indeed get to see that, and I'm hoping we do. Also, hopefully they have, a great soundtrack playing during that scene. I'll be very disappointed if there's a weak song playing, but that's just me. And so as the story progresses even more, we see everybody's, working on the cultural festival, getting things prepared and all that. And I just want to mention that I think this actually happened a little bit before that. I'm kind of jumping around all over the place, but apparently, well, we already knew, especially because we can see, the 10 years later group. Suwa obviously has feelings for Naho. The thing I found interesting is Suwa is the only character, well, between Kakeru and Suwa, he's the one that hasn't shown, any particular interest in Naho. Like, he hasn't made it obvious at all, at least to me. Like, we already know, because we can see the future and it's already been established. We know he has feelings for Naho, but in my eyes, in my opinion, he hasn't shown that, like, whatsoever. Like, he hasn't given her any extra special treatment. He hasn't treated her any differently from any of the other characters. He's just an all-around good guy to all of his friends, and he's very supportive. But for whatever reason, it seems everybody, according to Kakeru knows, and everybody else except Naho knows that he has feelings for Naho, that that he likes her. And I'm like, they made it seem like that was obvious when he hasn't shown it whatsoever. However, they didn't know that Kakeru and Naho had feelings for each other back when he got asked out by Ueda. Like, they were all rooting for him to go out and date Ueda senpai, but they didn't realize that there was some hint of a spark between Naho and Kakeru. Like, it's obvious that Suwa's into her, but not that Kakeru's into Naho or Naho's into Kakeru. Especially the girls, like, they should have been very perceptive of that. Like, they should have known even before Naho realized it that she was into Kakeru. So it really struck me as odd that they didn't figure that out, but they knew it about Suwa. And I guess you could say that, it's just we haven't seen it, and it's something that's been there for a while, and he just hasn't acted upon it. So it's just something maybe for a couple of years he's had feelings for her, and they just already knew, and it just hasn't been shown in the series. But in my opinion, that's just a little nitpick flaw that I had. But anyway, as everyone's setting up for the cultural festival or whatever, Suwa pulls this really smooth move, right, where, like, these three girls, because first of all, Suwa's the man, right? Like, my boy Suwa's got the juice. Like, I thought Kakeru was smooth, but Suwa's got the ladies all over him. Like, this is the second time, well, we didn't see it the first time, but they mentioned it, and this is the second time where three girls approach him at the same time and are showing interest in him. I'm like, yo, my man's got the ladies coming in swaves and waves. He's got to beat him back with a stick. It's pretty awesome. Like, my boy's popping. But he pulls his move, right, because he's been working with Kakeru, and he leaves to go help out the girls with whatever it was, and he leaves Naho alone with Kakeru, just, give him some little alone time. So shout out to Suwa for being best boy. And I also found it interesting that when he was talking with Kakeru, and Kakeru, like, was like, I already know that you like Naho, Kakeru had the decency and, like, the respect to ask Suwa, like, yo, are you okay, with me being alone with Naho, and, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm trying to do here, like, is that cool with you? And that's how we found out that Suwa has feelings for Naho, at least in the present timeline, because he's like, why are you asking me, or something along those lines, and Kakeru's like, well, because you like her, like, we all know that you like her. And I just thought that was really cool of Kakeru to, bring that up in conversation, and just, make sure he had Suwa's blessing, because, I don't want to treat it as if Naho's like an item, but he kind of has like first dibs. Like, he's being respectful of Suwa's feelings, and the fact that he was there first, and he doesn't want to stomp on any toes. He doesn't want to hurt any feelings or anything like that. So I just thought that was really decent, really respectful Kakeru. I wish more dudes out there were like that, because nowadays, what I'm saying, dudes don't care whose girl it is, what kind of relationship is going. They don't care about none of that. Dudes are savage nowadays, and they will snatch your girl if you let them. It's funny, but it's not funny. But we're moving on, and Kakeru and Naho, so they're talking a little bit alone, and Kakeru asks Naho if she's been wearing the hairpin, and she's like, nah, it feels like a waste on me, and I definitely don't want to break it, because apparently it means a lot to her because Kakeru gave it to her, and so she doesn't want any harm to come to it. But it turns out she actually has it, in her pocket or something. She brought it that day and she wasn't wearing it, but she goes to the bathroom and she actually puts it on. She looks real cute. I like the whole, the hair tied back in the ponytail with like the bangs or whatever. Like, I really like that look on her a lot more than her natural hairstyle. I just like the pulled back hair look on her. I think it really suits her and it looks really cute. And so she puts on the hairpin, and as she's returning, I guess, back to her post with Kakeru, Ueda Senpai and her little she-devil posse, approaches Naho like in a hallway or by a staircase or whatever. And I'm like, oh shit. Because at first, she plays it off kind of cool. She's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And so they go to the staircase, and it's just Naho and Ueda alone. And I'm like, I don't like where this is going. And my gut's tightening up. I'm getting a little tense. And I'm like, I heard some things about you, Ueda Senpai. I hope you're not about to do something savage right now. Even though that would be entertaining, I don't want to see you hurt the homegirl Naho right now. So they get to talking a little bit. She's like, oh, yeah, so, what were you doing with Kakeru? And she's like, oh, we were just studying. And then she's like, so that's a nice hairpin. Where'd you get that hairpin? And then her posse shows up, like the other two girls. And I'm like, yo, from my perspective, because, just from what I know and what I've experienced, I thought they was about to jump Naho. Like, I thought they was about to whoop her ass. Like seriously, that's legitimately what I thought. I thought all three of them were about to gang up on Naho and beat her ass. Like, I'm laughing, but that's not even funny. Like, I thought that was about to happen. And, I was about to be so upset. Like, I was about to go hard. I was about to go on a Twitter rant or something. Like, but that's not what happens, because Suwa just so happens to be walking by with the girls that he was talking with earlier, and he steps in. I'm like, that's my boy. That's my boy. Suwa, best boy of the season. He steps in. Basically, he saves Naho, and then they walk away unscathed. Well, technically not unscathed, because when but one of her friends reached for Naho's hairpin and was kind of going to snatch it off her head, Naho surprisingly slaps her hand away. She kind of like backhands away, like on some savagery type shit. And I'm like, oh, I see you. That's right, holding your own. And then just in the nick of time, Suwa shows up, and I'm like, that's my boy, that's my dog, you got this, big homie. And then he escorts her away, and then back to the cultural festival, setup and everything. And when he gets back, he's kind of like embarrassed or whatever. He kind of walks up to Kakeru and he's like, yo, my bad, dog. And I automatically understood, what was going on in that scene, because Suwa, he kind of felt bad, because he basically just made himself look really, really good in Naho's eyes. And that's something like a girl could fall for a guy after doing something like that, because he practically saved her life, because who knows what they would have done to her. Like, they really might have jumped her if Suwa hadn't shown up. So he just earned like hella brownie points, and he goes up to Kakeru. He's like, yo, my bad, here, take these. And he gives Kakeru some bandages to give to Naho, because she kind of hurt her hand, I guess, when she backhanded the other girl's hand away. And Kakeru actually tells Naho that Suwa gave him the bandages, and Suwa's like, you idiot, why'd you tell her that? And I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, why would you tell her that? You should have just, I guess it's kind of cool of him to not want to take like any extra brownie points. Like, he doesn't want it handed to him. Like, he wants to earn his way into Naho's heart by himself. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, you probably should have just I don't know, you could have at least said Suwa told you that she was hurt. You didn't have to tell her that he gave you the bandages. It's funny though, because Naho, she thanks him as the future letter told her, to thank Suwa for all his kindness and everything. And Suwa actually starts to cry tears of joy. And it was a pretty touching scene, and I really enjoyed this whole episode. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. And from start to finish, I thought this episode was great. Before we jump out of here, one more thing I just want to mention is that the music that was playing when Naho and Kakeru were alone by the pool, like that guitar strumming, you guys don't understand how much I love that. It's such a beautiful song. Like, right after, because we get like the transitional scenes of the cultural festival, like all the different clips and images and still images, and we have like some band is performing some song, and at first I'm like, yo, this is kind of weird. But actually, the more that song went on, I actually was really feeling it. But then when we transitioned to the scene with Naho and Kakeru by the pool, that guitar music that was just playing was just so beautiful and so elegant. And just like last week, just something about it just reminded me of Fooly Cooley, and it just brought this big smile to my face, and I absolutely loved it. But that's really everything that I have to say on this episode. Those are all my thoughts. Again, I really did like this episode, and I'm getting more and more into the series, and I'm really looking forward to next week's episode and just seeing how all the different relationships and characters progress and develop. So definitely let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content I plan on bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today. So I will catch you guys next time. Later.